Hey guys, welcome to our travel channel, Hodges on Holiday. I've been wanting to make this video for a really long time and just haven't had the energy, the headspace, or the patience to sit down and record it. And also, my office is a mess. So that's one of the reasons that I hadn't recorded a video. I usually make these videos with my desk to my back, but today I decided to kind of take a different approach. So as you can see, my office is a mess. I have a travel dog crate, a Chewy box that is empty and that I just haven't thrown away, my husband's desk, and my super messy desk with several laptops, several mice, and several school papers because my daughter has been using my desk for her schooling. So I wanted to show you guys that because I'm sure you're wondering, if you've watched my other videos, why you see a different background, but it's the same office, just a different angle. Anyway, so I wanted to make this video for several reasons, just kind of provide an update on the status of our trip. So if you've watched our other videos, you know that we have plans to go to London this summer, and of course with everything that's been happening with COVID-19, everyone's travel plans have been altered, changed, or canceled. So I wanted to give an update on that. I first wanted to say, kind of as a disclaimer, this is a travel YouTube channel, so of course what I'm talking about is travel. And of course right now that is a luxury, and there are more serious things happening out there. People are dying, people are getting sick, people are out of work, and of course just people are at home unsure of what's going on. So I understand that. I wanted to put that out there, that of course this video is about something that is a luxury to us, to many people, and we don't want to take away from what's happening, but we wanted to explain how this is affecting our travel plans, because that's our reality right now. That's what's in our future. So with that out there, if you don't want to watch the rest of this video for that reason, feel free to stop watching now. Otherwise, I want to tell you guys about what we're doing and what our plans are. So the first thing I wanted to go over are changes to our plans. I'm not going to go into too much detail just because that could get very boring, and I just wanted to make a quick video just with a quick update, and this seemed like the best way to do that. So we had a plan to go to New York for 4 days before taking a flight out of JFK to London. Of course, with everything happening in New York, that was canceled pretty quickly. We had Broadway tickets booked to see Mean Girls. We had tickets to the Statue of Liberty. We hadn't really booked anything else because we didn't really have a lot of plans to do a lot of museums or a lot of planned things. It was mostly those two things. We also were going to go to the 9/11 museum. We just hadn't purchased those tickets yet. And then everything else was going to Central Park, walking around, things that are free or things that we can pay for in the moment. So when Broadway canceled our tickets, that was kind of when we were like, yes, we need to pull the trigger on just canceling everything. Of course, we're very sad about it. New York City is my favorite city in the world. I love it. I haven't been there for 12 years, and so this was something that I was looking forward to a lot. My daughter and my husband have never been there, so I was really excited to take them and to just show them why I love New York City so much. And of course there's a lot going on there, and my heart goes out to everybody in New York, and I hope to be able to come back and visit once everything gets better, once it's okay to come back. So that's definitely in our future, but we did have to cancel. Luckily our hotel was booked with points. If you've seen my travel hack video, which is the last video I made, I mentioned that that was what probably was the biggest deal, biggest savings for us, was booking those 4 nights in New York. And we did have to cancel that, but luckily because we used points, it was very simple. The points were back in my account within minutes. And of course with the airlines, specifically Delta, with waiving change fees, it was really simple for us to just change our flight to a different day. We're still flying out of JFK. It would have been more expensive, more points for us to try to change to a direct flight from Salt Lake to London, so we didn't do that. So there's that was canceled. We will be still flying out of JFK, as I mentioned. We will just be staying in a hotel there, which we're super excited about. I will talk about that more later. The second change that happened with our trip was Disney Paris. So we had plans to go to Disney Paris for my birthday towards the end of June, and we had a flight booked, a train booked, and our hotel tickets and everything, our stay there. That was canceled a couple weeks ago. On the Disney Paris website, they said that they would be canceling anything that was booked through June, so we had to do it. We'll be getting a voucher for the amount of money that we put down on our trip. Luckily, we actually hadn't paid all of it. We were supposed to do that this month. It was just an initial deposit, so it's not a lot of money. We will get that voucher. We're hoping that we'll be able to use it maybe end of July, maybe August. There are talks on their website that they may reopen depending on how things go in France towards the end of July or beginning of August. Of course, with Disneyland and Disney World rumors, I'm assuming they're still rumors, I haven't heard anything official, that they won't be reopening through the rest of 2020. I am hopeful, but I'm not sure that it will actually happen, that Disney Paris will open before the end of the summer. But I'm holding on to hope. I will have that voucher, and so I will want to use it, and hoping that I'll be able to before the end of summer. So we're really sad about that, but of course it is what it is. We did have our flight into Paris canceled recently, and we were planning on canceling that anyway, as our trip to Disney Paris was canceled, but we were just kind of holding off to see maybe the country ease their restrictions a little bit, maybe just not Disney Paris, so maybe we would still go to Paris. There were a lot of things that were throwing out there, because all of these plans were super set, very planned out, and so it's really hard to think about just canceling it altogether. But of course we want to be safe. We want to make sure that we're following whatever guidelines these countries have, so we'll kind of see how that goes. But that was canceled recently. And then our train from Disney Paris back to London, we will be canceling that shortly, and I believe they're giving vouchers, so I'm sure that we'll be able to use that for another trip, or if we do plan on rebooking. So that was the second thing. That is a change from our trip. The third thing, just 2 nights ago, we had our trip to Scotland, or actually our flight to Scotland, canceled, and that was actually supposed to be the second week of June, so that was supposed to be our first trip. And it sounds like British Airways let me know it was because Heathrow is not flying anywhere internally within the UK. They're still flying, I guess, to other places within Europe, other places internationally, but just not within the UK. So we were told that we could book out of a different airport in London to still get to Scotland, but right now we're very unsure of what we want to do. We don't want to pay for a trip that means that we're just going to be sitting in a hotel room doing nothing, which we could already do on our Airbnb in London that we're already paying for. So right now we're trying to do some research, trying to find out what their restrictions are, what day-to-day looks like there, before we decide if we want to rebook, or maybe we want to wait to see what happens in July. Maybe we can just move that around and go sometime in July, or maybe we want to go somewhere else. Of course, when I say that we are looking into these different places, we are making sure that we are abiding by any restrictions that they have. You know, if we need to wear masks, 6 feet away, restaurants having less than 30% capacity, whatever it may be. Those are things that we're looking into, because we want to make sure that when we're going to these other countries that we're being safe. So just wanted to mention that. So those are the three changes so far that have happened on our trip. So New York, Scotland, and Disney Paris. So far, everything else that we've planned, other trips, are in July and August. So we're really not even going to think about them right now. We're just going to wait to see what happens, because we don't want to jump the gun on things that may get canceled or things that may need to be changed. So far, those are the changes that we've seen. So now that I've covered that, I then wanted to cover kind of our current plans in London in general, if those have changed. So far Airbnb has not said anything about being able to offer free cancellations through any stays starting in June. So I think right now their stance is if you have any stays through the end of May, you could cancel for free at no charge to you. Currently, if we canceled our Airbnb, we would lose out on half of the money that we put down, which was a lot of money, and we don't want to do that. Our host has not said anything, so our plans are still the same. Same Airbnb, same dates there. We of course are waiting to see what happens, but we don't anticipate that our host will cancel the trip because they would be losing a lot of money, and right now of course that's not something that anybody wants. So we feel pretty good about that, and we're still happy with the Airbnb that we got, with the location and all of that. So that is good. Nothing has changed with that. As far as any activities or plans that we had in London, we actually didn't book anything in London. No like museums, attractions. We've done a lot of the touristy things there, and other things that we plan on doing were museums, things that on a Tuesday, if we felt like going somewhere, we would just go and buy the tickets there at the door. So the great thing about living in London and being there for such a long period of time means that we have that flexibility. So we didn't really want to plan anything super ahead of time there. We did maybe have some plans to see something at Royal Albert Hall. We hadn't pulled the trigger on that, and then when everything started happening 2 months ago, we were not going to do that. So anything that we may have had planned, we didn't get to do it before all of this happened, so we haven't done it since. So for now, we're not going to really book anything or make any plans in London specifically. Once we get into London, of course, we will adjust to any restrictions they have. We know that the Prime Minister is going to make an announcement, I think sometime next week, about any plans they have to ease up on the social distancing and things like that. So once we know what those guidelines are, then we'll be able to adjust. Of course, we're hoping that the restrictions will be loosened. Of course, again, we want to be safe, but if, you know, we're able to go out just in smaller crowds, still able to do things, but continue to social distance, wear masks, things like that, then that would make our trip that much better. Of course, we didn't expect this when we booked our trip. We were very excited. There was a lot of planning, and I think that's the part that is hardest for me to make peace with. Is I put a lot of hours, a lot of time, a lot of planning that I did to make sure that this trip would be as great as it could be. And that's hard for me because I'm an organizer, I'm a planner, and putting so much time into something and having it fall apart a little bit is hard. But of course, I understand the reasoning and how hard it would have been for anyone to really foresee what was going to happen and how it would affect the economy and just everything in general. So we understand that, and I've made peace with it, and I'm just happy that as it stands now, we will still be going because I'd rather spend the summer there, even if I have to be at home most of the time, than here not being in London. So with that being said, that's really all our plans are still in London. They're all still the same as far as being in London, and we might find ourselves spending more time in London if these other trips that we had planned continue to stay canceled. So there's that. As far as what we're doing to prepare for London, that's the third thing that I wanted to talk about. Of course, we're making sure that we have everything that we need. We just ordered a new converter adapter because my husband and I will both be working still from London. I have my personal laptop that I will use, of course, to edit videos and just to use for personal reasons. We have an iPad, phones, so we want to make sure that we have something that will really be able to handle all of that. So we just recently purchased a new one. I also have ordered a SIM card from the UK, so I will have a UK number while I'm there. Of course, I can take the SIM card in and out, so I can still use my US number if I need to, but it just seemed like a good idea for one of us, my husband or I, and I was the one interested in doing it. My husband didn't really care so much, to make sure that one of us had a UK number, so anytime we needed to call anywhere within the UK, it would just be that much easier. So it's a really great plan. It's a flat fee. I believe it's £20, and what happens is they mail it to you for free, and then when you get into the UK, You log on to their website and you activate it, and then you're ready to go with your UK number. So it has unlimited data, unlimited calling, and a pretty high number of gigabytes for data. So it's really great. It's only £20, which isn't bad at all. So that's another thing that we're doing to prepare, is we've already ordered that. Another thing that we have to do is order a new luggage. We found that being that we're going to be gone for 2.5 months with 3 people, we would need that extra luggage, not only for what we have now, but also any souvenirs that we buy there. We'll want to, of course, bring with us. We'll need space for them, and being a woman, I pack a lot, and maybe some women don't, but I have a lot of different shoes that I like to kind of trade off during the week. I don't like to wear the same shoes every day, and that takes up a lot of space. So mostly it's because I'm taking up a lot of space in our suitcase. The original idea was that maybe I would pack less and I would buy clothes there, and that's still a possibility, but since we don't know what's going on as far as clothing stores, department stores that will be open, we don't want to risk not having the things that we need. So that's something else that we're doing, is making sure we have another suitcase. So far, really, those are the 3 things that we're purchasing to make sure that we're ready. Otherwise, I think we're pretty prepared. I'm sure there are a lot more things for me to do, but every time I try to sit down and make a list of everything, I just don't have the energy to do it. So I'm sure once it gets closer, I will really be scrambling, but for now, that's what we're doing, and we're just trying to get through the last couple of weeks of my daughter's schooling. So we just wanted to make sure to provide you guys with an update. I apologize if this was slightly boring. I wish that I had more exciting things to say. I know a lot of this information, if you've watched the other videos, you already knew about, but I just kind of wanted to update on those changes because people have asked me and continue to ask me what my plans are, if I'm still going. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave comments. We originally planned to make a lot more videos when we first started this channel, and then once everything happened with COVID-19, it just became very stressful to think about getting excited over a trip that we didn't know was still going to happen. That's the biggest reason why we did not continue to make these videos. But since we're 30 days out, at this point it seems unlikely that the trip overall into London will be canceled. So we're pushing forward on that, and so we thought we would give an update to those who were wondering what was going on and how our trip was affected. So feel free to like this video if you liked my update. The content, maybe not as much. It's not fun to talk about canceled trips that you've looked forward to for a long time. So but feel free to like the video, subscribe. We will be creating more videos in the next 30 days before we leave. I'm sure there will be more that we're doing, you know, planning, packing, things like that, things that may be interesting to people who like to travel or people who are interested in traveling. So I may make some more videos. I'm not going to promise because I just don't know what the next couple of weeks will look like. But definitely when we get to New York, get ready to go on our trip, I will probably do some vlogging. So those will be in a vlog form, but I will upload those here. And that way you guys can follow our trip, whatever that may look like. That may be something that will be interesting to you guys. Again, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.